always said, man, go to work, prepare like crazy, take care of myself, make sure I'm mentally ready and sharp, and then let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta love it. Oh, you gotta love it. I'm managed by my friends that I grew up with. I'd rather get that 15% than people I'm with. If me and Future hadn't made it with this rapping, we'd probably be out in Silicone trying to get our billions on. But here we are. Yeah.
Coach, welcome to Kneading Dough Canada. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
I want to take it back a bit.
Okay.
I want to take it back to where you're from. You're from a small town in Iowa, a place where I've heard you say that hard work and work ethic are really valued. How did Iowa shape, how you are?
Yeah, I mean, it's really topical for today, too. Like you said, I come from a small town, Carroll, Iowa, about 10,000 people out in the middle of nowhere, very much a farming community, a rural area. I'm the youngest of 9. So my mother was a teacher. My father was in the postal service for about 35 years. 9 kids. He was also painting houses on the weekends. Most of us had jobs as young, kids just to put food on the table and make it. So work ethic, we always worked very hard. We always saved our money. Right, it was a very, I would say, thrifty type community. It wasn't a lot of extravagant purchases and things like that. So that stuff sticks with you. For me, it comes in handy. Like, I'm not afraid of a long, hard day of work. That's for sure.
Do you have any early memories of any conversations around money in your household?
When we were out working, whether it was in the cornfields detasseling corn or in the bean fields walking beans, I had a job at a small clothing store that I would sneak in a few hours in here and there. Most of my brothers' paper routes, sisters were babysitting, etc. And most of it was they would take us straight to the bank, get a bank account. That money was to be saved. Get your education, go to college. Like we were gonna be expected to pay for our college education, and we were going to be expected to go to university and get a degree. So that's kind of what we were all doing. Right. So those are lessons, education. My mom, like I said, was a teacher, and that gets passed on a little bit. I see myself as a teacher,
of course,
right? As a coach, much more of a teacher than I am a coach, to be honest. Those were lessons they taught me. Yeah.
What is one of the things about teaching that you think really makes a great teacher?
Well, the biggest thing is you got to understand that everybody learns differently, right? I studied a lot what motivates people to learn, right? What are the motivational factors that'll get them to actually want to learn, right? I studied a lot, or in my training in some of these small clubs or teams and all over the world that I was coaching, what were the fastest ways you could teach so they could learn the fastest. It kind of got put in these situations like in minor leagues where players were coming and going all the time. Right. It wasn't like you could have a month-long training camp with these guys. I mean, so you'd get some guys on a Friday that were going to be playing on Saturday, and what could you teach them about your team culture? What could you teach them about your operations on offense and defense so they could go out there and function in 24 hours? So, right, we had to streamline things, our packages of what we were doing, just our overall, like I said, culture, we're here to win, and we're here to help you increase your value in the marketplace. Like, those are 1 and 1A.
Early years, you're sort of more like formative years. You played a lot of team sports growing up.
Yeah.
And did you ever pursue becoming an athlete, or was it always coaching and seeing the game in a bigger way? Or?
No, I mean, listen, like I said, I got 5 older brothers. They were all great athletes. I was following them around from a very young age, and pretty much all of us played all the same things. We played seasonal, right? We played football in the fall, basketball in the winter. We were all on the track team in the spring, and we all were on the baseball team in the summer, pretty much all the way through, all my brothers. So I was just following in their footsteps and trying to live up to what they were doing, to be honest with you. They were good. They were good athletes. But yeah, I mean, I went to college on a basketball scholarship. So that was my track. I played a little one year in Europe as well. I kind of saw my playing career coming to an end at the end of my university, and shifted my thoughts really quickly from my accounting degree that I was getting to wanting to be a coach. Right? I did finish up the accounting degree, but I haven't accounted for anything since leaving college. So I became a coach right out of there, and here we are. I don't even want to tell you how many years later, but 30 plus.
Talk to me about that team culture, because I think whether you're on a basketball team or any business or small business or whatever it is, for our audiences out there, what are sort of the pillars for you of good, solid team culture?
Where it always starts for me is work ethic. I've given this speech to many teams that I've coached over the years, is that, a season gets ready to start, and my goal is to win the championship, right?
Right.
There's going to be a lot of other coaches, my peers, that are thinking the same thing. So how am I going to do my job to outperform them? And it starts with outworking them, right? You can't ever know if you are or not. It's not like I'm calling up Spoelstra and saying, how much film did you watch today or whatever, but you're always thinking that you need to put in a great effort every day in the work side of it, or you really don't have any right to have those championship aspirations. So that's like pillar number one, is work ethic has to be paramount in everything we do. That aspiration of championship has to come with a plan. You can't just float around saying, we're going to win it all, right? We're going to win it all. It's like any goal, right? The goal of starting a workout program. Well, I want to start you got to put a plan into action now, right? Yeah. So that happens in a lot of avenues. Let's say player development, or even slice that avenue down into shooting. What's our plan? Here's all the mechanisms, here's all the people, here's how we're going to take you through what we call our 6 stages of shooting to make you a better shooter. And then it's, I don't know, again, you could go down strength and conditioning. Yeah. Here's how we're going to get you to play your best, be most athletic, and that has nutrition, and that has all kinds of stuff. So creating plans and down those pathways would be like next after work ethic. And then it just kind of goes from there.
Right. So Coach, we're going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to do our rapid fire round, which is called the 2 cents round here.
Okay.
So you can't think about these too much. You just got to let it out.
Oh.
And that's the fun of it.
Okay.
What's the one purchase you regret the most?
Nothing. My first answer is nothing. I don't regret any purchase I've ever made.
Amazing. Yep. Love that. What's the one thing you always splurge on?
Music stuff.
Music stuff.
Yeah, usually instruments.
Okay, so
records,
I think I know.
Vinyl, instruments, tickets, anything music related.
Okay. Describe your financial persona in one word.
Moderate.
Moderate.
Yeah, moderate.
We asked Kyle that once. I think the best answer was he just said cheap.
Yeah, right.
That very cheap.
That. I could see that for him. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Totally kidding.
No, he's extremely proud of that.
Yeah.
Who is the one player you've coached that you would take financial advice from?
Fred VanVleet. I admire Fred. Let's go that way.
Yeah, definitely. What does financial freedom mean to you?
Whoa, good question. Well, I think it's to be able to not have to work and be able to spend your time exactly the way you want to, because financially you're able to do that. It relates directly to how you can use your own time.
Yeah, choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Have you ever bought anything and hid it from your partner?
Probably.
Probably,
yeah. Most of those things are music related as well, so nothing too bad. Yeah.
Okay. And
I have to find the right moment to say like, hey, I bought another piano or something like that. It's coming. It's getting moved in soon. Where are we putting it? Well, let's figure that out.
Right.
All right, whatever. Go ahead.
You've been around the NBA now, of course. Who has the best business sense in the NBA? Could be player, could be GM, could be president.
Oh, it's got to be LeBron.
LeBron.
I think. I don't delve into it that much. I know that a lot of other guys got some cool stuff going on.
Yeah. And you're not just saying that because you're on Uninterrupted. I mean, you don't have to say that. But,
no, I just know that he's certainly been a mega powerful in many areas. Right?
No, and again, speaking of like a personal side, it's there's one thing about having a business sense that he does, but there's also a sense of empowering others to go out and build and create their own thing that he has, which I think is a sign of any great entrepreneur.
And I also had a experience, like a personal experience with him in the bubble. I don't need to get into what was all happening, but there was some meetings going on down there, and all the owners were on a Zoom, and there was key players and coaches and other key people in the NBA, and this meeting's going on and on and on and on, and he hadn't said a word yet. And I was sitting like right next to him, and then when he got up to speak, I was absolutely blown away at how smart he was, and the way he presented everything he talked about was right on the money, and like it was impressive.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm probably getting that answer from.
No, I love that.
That experience, yeah.
So basketball is very unique because of the size of the roster, right? There's 23 players in the NHL, there's 53 in the NFL, 26 in MLB, and only 15 in the NBA.
Yeah.
So is it harder or easier to get everybody pushing in the same direction when you have a smaller roster?
I don't know. It should be easier based on the math. I can't imagine having 53,
You're right.
53, but I think it's a challenge. I think everybody's aware, and this is one of the things that we're willing to recognize. This is a team sport. However, everybody's got their own individual goals and lifestyle and life they're living, and we've got to blend those together. And we're not afraid to talk about that. I've already said it once. We got to win, number one, and number 1A is we got to get your value in the marketplace higher.
Yeah.
We're gonna, we understand, like, you want to be an all-star, or you want to be all-league, or you want to be a starter, or you want to be in the rotation, or you want to play more minutes. It's real. You can't just say there's no I in team and let's go. You can't. You got to deal with both sides of it and try to blend them together.
And then there's also the side of managing personalities, right? I mean, Kevin Durant said that, a coach's job is to manage the personalities. I mean, what is the key to, managing many different types of personalities?
Again, I think it's a question that people ask a lot is like, they phrase it, you phrased it pretty nicely about just managing. I mean, usually they're like, these guys are getting paid so much and they got such huge egos, and how do you manage all these, Listen, what they want more than anything is to do well. Right? So our job is to put them in a position to succeed. We have conversations, like, they want to be coached. They want to be prepared for the game. They want a great game plan so they can go out there and succeed. They really do.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, again, take that head on. Like it's our responsibility. We're not managing them. We're just trying to set everything up the best we possibly can as a coaching staff, so they can go out there and have the most success they can.
And I think it really ties back into something that you said early on, which is that everybody also learns differently.
Yes.
And that's something that I haven't heard in a really long time, but it's so refreshing to hear that, right?
Yeah.
Is everybody comes with their own experiences, their own way of learning, their own way of showing their
100%.
Adapting, right?
There's certain players, a lot of them, where we can put the game film on the film room in a team setting, and that's enough for them. They get it. They get the clips. They show it. They take the positivity. They take the teaching clips, and that's good. But then there's some of them where they got to go sit down with an assistant coach and watch it one-on-one. And there's some of them that need to sit down with the head coach. It just doesn't sink in unless I'm telling them, face to face or one-on-one. So just figuring all that out is part of the challenge, but it's the job.
Yeah.
It's the job.
So I want to talk about the Nick Nurse Foundation.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit more about it. Tell me a little bit more about what the mission behind it is. And
listen, we had this incredible year in 2019 where I was fortunate enough to be on that championship winning team, right? Just thought immediately that it gave us a great platform to go out and do things in the community. Just really felt like the right thing and time to do it. And then I really can only operate on passion. So when they said, well, what do you want it to do? It was going to be sports, it was going to be music, and it was going to be education or literacy. I really like to read, so that had to be in there as well. I just value education. I think that music programs are the last thing to get added and the first thing to get cut in schools these days. I just know how much it's meant to me personally. Just even though I have a good day, listening to music is like really cool for me. So passing on those emotions. Obviously, we have the sport kind of built in. Being basketball people, we have opportunities to get a gym like this, throw some kids in it, give them some shoes and uniforms and basketballs, and help them any way we can to just improve. What I say is, let's improve their self-image. Right. Let's give them a chance, man. Who knows what will happen? And I know that there's some great impact being made.
Where do you get that sense of community, that sense of give back?
You know what? This is a really easy answer, but I've never answered this before. And I do a lot back in my hometown of Carroll, Iowa too, especially for my high school and around town. But without getting like too deep into it, when I was a really little kid, my mother got diagnosed with a brain tumor, and she was out of commission for 2 years, basically, till they were trying to figure it all out. And every night of the week, somebody in our community would show up with a meal for our family and all the kids. 9 kids and dad there, and somebody else would show up, and that's community.
Yeah.
Right? That makes an impact on your life.
Coach, we are living through some uncertain times. I mean, especially the last couple of years have been very difficult socially, economically. The business of sport, you feel that a lot, right? Whether being an athlete or a coach, nothing is certain, nothing is always guaranteed, things can change instantly. What advice do you have people for out there, for people who are dealing with uncertain times, you being in this business, how do you deal with that?
It's a good question. I think that certainly applicable to my job in sports, right? I think that it's certainly fragile depending on how the team's doing. We're getting judged every single game, but certainly if, they make moves at this level, right? And I can't get too caught up in that. I think that I always say again that I'm gonna get up and get ready. I'm gonna think about what players I need to touch today and motivate personally and see one-on-one. I'm gonna think about what game film I need to watch, whether it's the Raptors getting them better or who's coming next, who the opponent we're playing. That's it. It's like I gotta give a great daily effort. The noise is so much that it doesn't even affect us. It's so much talk that it's like you don't even you know what I mean? It doesn't even
cancels itself out.
Yeah, it cancels itself out, exactly. So just always said, man, go to work, prepare like crazy, take care of myself, make sure I'm mentally ready and sharp, and then let the chips fall where they may. And understand I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes on a game night. I am. Accept that as part of the job. I'm gonna get a lot of criticism. I accept that as part of the job and know it's part of the job and get up the next day and do it all over again.
Yeah. No, and I think that day-by-day approach is something that everybody can take back, watching this no matter what you do for a living, just taking it day by day, but like you said, making sure that you're right.
Yeah, the hardest part is this though, right? When you're in the middle of something that goes sideways or you lose, let's say, I've been let go from coaching jobs or whatever, and you think, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? And you always land on your path that you're supposed to be on anyway, right? That ended up leading me here, which is I'm the coach of the Raptors and the Canadian national team. Yeah. That probably wasn't that bad back in Belgium 20 years ago when things weren't working out or whatever, whatever it is, right? So you land on your path that you're supposed to be on most of the time and usually land on your feet and let's keep working.
Blame the city, I'm a product of it. Young from the city, you gotta love it.